Good morning. Yeah. Buenos dias. Thanks. Resumability in the next generation of front-end or framework with an O of 1 loading time. So, hi, my name is JANE CABAGNOT. I'm originally from the Philippines, but I've been working and living in Oslo, Norway for the past several years now. And I think some people already here have already known the concept or are familiar with the term resumability that was coined by the creators of Quick, including the so-called father of AngularJS. It's Mishko Havery, who said this idea of resumability is a mental mind shift or paradigm shift from the way the current generation of front-end frameworks work, which is the hydration process. So to explain resumability, we need to understand the so-called hydration process of the current generation of frameworks. The fundamental problem in this hydration thing is that front-end frameworks in our app basically needs to hydrate once, at least once in our server, and then do the same thing in our client or the browser. But you may ask, so what, right? Well, basically it just means that the TTI, or the time to interactive of your application, becomes slower. And this can especially be frustrating for your end users, especially if they're using a slower network device, slower network connection, or on older devices. So yeah, and of course, nobody wants a website that takes forever to load, right? And to explain this further, hydration in JavaScript framework is like turning a static painting into an interactive touchscreen. So the server provides an initial painting or the HTML, and we need the touch controls, which are these event handlers or event listeners, and of course the features, which is the application state. And this step can slow down initial loading of making your painting looks touch ready when actually it's not, which is really, like I said, frustrating for your users. And this is why they say, what about uncanny valley? Now, simply put, the hydration step on the client side is to make our application interactive. So what about Quick? So Quick is different because it does not require this so-called hydration or eager execution of your code on the client side. No, so not requiring hydration is what makes Quick application startup, I would say, almost instantaneous. So the browser or the client does not need to do anything because basically it already has the information that it needs because of this so-called stateful HTML to determine where the things are in your application, which includes your event listeners, your application code, and your framework code. So your page can become interactive without downloading and executing the JavaScript on the client. And this means a page startup or boot up is almost instantaneous, or as they say, the O of 1 loading time. So the primary premise of the Quick framework is to serve HTML with minimal JavaScript. So that means and only increasing the interaction will incrementally you would add your JavaScript as needed. So here's an image of the time to interactive or hydration of the current frameworks. And then here's the resumability for the Quick. So how is Quick doing this resumability? In a nutshell, Quick knows how to serialize your closure or your JavaScript closures. And this thing that the other current frameworks are not able to do. So Quick can take the closure and serialize it, with essentially how Quick is able to just resume or bring your app into life right away from the server to the client without having to do the hydration process. So this is the thing that what makes Quick resumable or replayable, because the client does not need to execute all of your components to figure out where the listeners are. So, like I said, resumability is simple in concept, but because you just save the server state and then move it to the client and continue or resume where the client left off. But it's hard to implement until there's a framework Quick. So Quick can take the closure and serialize it, which essentially how the Quick is able to bring you up, like what I said, into life without the hydration process. So getting started, so basically just do npm create, at Quick latest, pnpm yard, and this one is the latest. They also do have this bond create, Quick at latest. And the CLI will just guide you through all the interactive menu to set the project name and install all your dependencies, and just go from there. So, yeah, okay. So let's see Quick in action. I prepared a video for this just to save time. So here, okay, we have here in a home page or just a landing page of simple Quick app. And you can see there's no JavaScript being loaded because it's really just static app, right? And here we have these two buttons here, the increment and the alert. And there's still no JavaScript because, and then until we click this alert button, so we download this, as you can see, when you click the alert button, only the alert, this piece of code gets downloaded. The increment button doesn't get downloaded because it doesn't need to do it. It doesn't even download the framework code, application code. And then when you click the increment, the increment button gets downloaded, and this particular code gets downloaded. And of course, the framework code, because it needs to update the UI code. So, yeah, so what's amazing about that? So, like I said, we have here a simple standard counter component. And if you're familiar with React, of course, you're familiar with React. We have this React Alicantes. So the syntax looks the same as pretty much like React because of the use of JSX. So we have here our buttons, and the increment and the alert button, and in one single text file. And yet, if you recall, Quick only downloaded the JS that it needed. Quick was able to break apart the function of the alert message and extract it out. So when we click that alert button, remember, just the alert message gets downloaded and nothing else. It didn't even download to the client the framework code nor the application code because at that point it didn't need to. And then when we click the increment button, the framework gets downloaded because also it needed to update the UI. So how does Quick do it? So if you notice here, we have this $. So we have the component $, and then the on-click $, and this another on-click $, also. So whenever you see a $, in your Quick application, you would think that this function or component or event listener is being lazy loaded. And what's great about this is you as a developer, you don't need to do anything special to make this happen. So this fine-grained the Quick itself will do it for you. It will just work out of the box. So, and this Quick has this thing called Quick Optimizer that will run in the build. So whenever you're building your Quick application, you will search for all the $signs to create separate files, and for each function or component or event listeners that it will find. So, like I said, the question is, how does Quick do it? So let's take a look at the alert button here that we showed earlier. I hope it's clear. And it has an on-click property. And if you notice, there's an on-click here, and then this is this is what they call the QRL or URL that contains all the information that Quick needs to lazy load and then execute this particular component or code. So yeah, QRLs are especially formatted URL that left as attributes in the HTML to tell Quick that where the handlers are for the code that should be loaded from. And also Quick has this called Quick Loader. So Quick Loader basically does the job of registering your global events or global listeners. And so if an event occurs, it searches the DOM, pointing to the QRL that should be lazy loaded. So it's really just small. It's just one kilobyte when minified. So basically, Quick Loader is one that knows how to download the rest of the application on as needed basis. And also this Quick JSON is how Quick is doing its serialization of your application. So including the application code, your framework code, and more significantly, how it can serialize your event listeners. So the app state is stored in Quick JSON or Quick.json, making its HTML CDN cacheable. So what about Quick React? So the advantage of using Quick React is that you can use existing React components and libraries within Quick. So another good thing about Quick React is that it has a huge community built-in tools that make your life easier for us developers. So, because Quick is new and promising, but it's not yet at a point where it can pull away people from the ecosystem or the bustling ecosystem of the React, right? So so before you can use your Quick React, you can just configure the Quick project to use Quick React. So if you don't have a Quick app yet, you need to create one first, and then follow instructions from then. So like what I said, if you know React, Quick looks like React with the use of JSX. Let's have a quick demo on the demo of a Quick React with the Material UI. So in this case, we make interactive React apps without React ever loading in the user's browsers. So in this case, we have this Material UI to load React components without using the Quick framework. So like I said, when you interact with this application, you see that the React never loads. But in the DevTools, the React does not appear. But we can easily add this attribute client visible to make it so that certain components hydrate when visible on load or whatever directives you can put. So now you see here in the DevTools, the React loaded in the browser, but only for this, let's check, for this particular component. So this is using the Quickify utility in Quick to essentially turn your React components into pure simple HTML that only runs on the server. So this Quickify. So you can optionally make this interactive using signals in Quick. And then in Quick, that loads extremely little amount of your client side to add interactivity. So like what I said, this will make your apps that use React components lightning fast. So Quick React in a nutshell. So the rules are, don't mix your React and Quick components in the same file. It is recommended that you place all your React code inside the SRC integrations and React folder. And then you add your, at the top of the file containing the React code. And then use Quickify to convert your React components into Quick components that can then import from the Quick modules. And Quick and Quick City. So if Quick City is to Quick, and what Next.js is to React, what Nox is to Vue, or SvelteKit is to Svelte. So Quick is the core of your Resumability framework. And then you have this Quick City for the routing, or it's a meta framework built around Quick. So it has a directory-based routing. It has nested layouts, file-based menus, and data endpoints. So to recap, sorry I made it fast because I thought it's going to be short, I was pressing for time. So just to recap, Quick introduces resumability without hydration, and providing excellent performance at scale as well. So without using, also with using O of 1 notation. So developer experience remains good, and performance is greatly improved. So basically Quick offers a fine-grained loading mechanism, unlike previous generation of frameworks, or not previous, the current generation frameworks, where developers had to manually configure it out. Like everything have to do, all this, for example, React Memo and all that stuff, to make your application faster. So Quick automatically splits the app into smallest JavaScript chunks with resumability, with ensuring a serializable app, including your app state, including your the UI. So you might ask, is Quick worth learning? Because we all know there's a lot of front-end framework out there right now, right? So developers, it's really just fighting a mind share in our developers' minds. So there's a point in learning a new one. I believe Quick is the concept of, especially the concept of resumability, introduces a new mental model that will shape the future of the front-end framework. So the way Quick streams JavaScript, or I would say streams, is for me the future in the front-end framework. So at least I would say it's quite important for us to understand this concept and learn, play around with Quick and then see if we can, because basically they say what you can do in any other framework like React or Vue as well, you can also do your application in Quick. So yeah, that's all I can say. So muchas gracias Alicante, React Alicante, and